Hello, students. I'm sure you must have all heard of some very great and successful people like Albert Einstein, Mahatma Gandhi, Kalpana Chawla, and many others. Today, we are going to talk about one such person who has achieved a great height in the lesson Reach for the Top. Think for a while and make a list of 3 or 5 people you idolize or admire for their achievements. Your idols may be from any sphere of life: sports, medicine, media, or art and culture. Then you can write down who the top 5 idols are. Let us now begin with the lesson Reach for the Top. The only woman in the world who has scaled Mount Everest twice was born in a society where the birth of a son was regarded as a blessing, and a daughter, though not considered a curse, was not welcome. When her mother was expecting Santosh, a traveling holy man giving her blessings assumed that she wanted a son. To assume means to think. But to everyone's surprise, the unborn child's grandmother, who was standing close by, told him that they did not want a son. The holy man was also surprised. Nevertheless, he gave the requested blessings. And as destiny would have it, the blessing seemed to work. Santosh was born the sixth child in the family, with 5 sons, a sister to the 5 brothers. She was born in a small village of Joniawaz of Rewari district in Haryana. The girl was given the name Santosh, which means contentment. But Santosh was not always content. To be content means to be happy. Santosh was not always happy with her place in a traditional way of life. She began living life on her own terms from the start. Where other girls wore traditional dresses, Santosh preferred shorts. Looking back, she says, "Now, from the very beginning, I was quite determined that if I chose correct and a national path, the others around me had to change, not me." Santosh's parents were affluent landowners. Affluent means well known, who could afford to send their children to the best school, even to the country's capital, New Delhi, which was quite close. But in line with the prevailing customs in the family, Santosh had to make do with the local village school. That means Santosh had to go to the village school, although she and her parents could afford to go to the best school. So she decided to fight the system in her own quiet way when the right moment arrived. And the right moment came when she turned 16. At 16, most of the girls in her village would get married. Santosh was also under pressure from her parents to do the same. A marriage as early as that was the last thing on her mind. She threatened her parents that she would never marry if she did not get a proper education. She left home and got herself enrolled in a school in Delhi. When her parents refused to pay for her education, she politely informed them about her plans to earn money by working part time to pay her school fees. So see the determination that Santosh had to educate herself. When Santosh told her parents about this, they agreed to pay her school fees, wishing always to study a bit more. And with her father slowly getting used to her urge for more education, Santosh passed the high school examination and went to Jaipur. She joined Maharani College and got a room in Kasturba Hostel. Santosh remembers the Kasturba Hostel faced the Aravali Hills. She said, "I used to watch the villagers from my room. going up the hill and suddenly vanishing. Vanishing means disappearing. She said, "One day I decided to check it out myself. I found nobody," she said, "except a few mountaineers." Mountaineers are those who climb mountains. She asked them whether she could join them. To her pleasant surprise, they answered in the affirmative. In the affirmative means they said yes to her, that she could join them. And they motivated her to take to climbing. Then there was no looking back for Santosh. She saved money and enrolled in a course at Uttarkashi's Nehru Institute of Mountaineering. She said that her college semester was to end in April, but it ended on the 19th of May. And she said that she was supposed to be in Uttarkashi on the 21st of May. So she didn't go home. Instead, she headed straight for the training. She had to write a letter of apology to her father. Apology means a letter saying sorry to her father, without whose permission she had got herself enrolled at Uttarkashi. Thereafter, Santosh went on an expedition every year. Her climbing skills matured rapidly. Also, she developed a remarkable resistance to cold and altitude. That means she was now able to tolerate the cold weather and the high heights. Equipped with an iron will, physical endurance, and an amazing mental toughness, she proved herself repeatedly. All these words, endurance, mental toughness, mean determination. So, with all the determination that she had, she was able to prove that she can do great things. The culmination of her hard work and sincerity came in 1992, just 4 years after she had shyly asked the Aravali mountaineers if she could join them. This means that all her hard work was giving fruits exactly 4 years after she had asked the Aravali mountaineers whether she could join them in climbing the mountain. At barely 20 years of age, Santosh Yadav scaled Mount Everest. Scaled means she climbed Mount Everest, becoming the youngest woman in the world to achieve the feat. If her climbing skills, physical fitness, and mental strength impressed her seniors, her concern for others and desire to work together with them found her a special place in the hearts of fellow climbers. During the 1992 Everest mission, Santosh Yadav provided special care to a climber who lay dying at the south. She was unsuccessful in saving him. Remember, Santosh Yadav was a very kind individual. She managed to save another climber, Mohan Singh, who would have met with the same fate had she not shared her oxygen with him. So, see here, Santosh Yadav, although she was going on an expedition to Mount Everest, on the way, if she came across a mountaineer who was desperately in need of help, she would not stay behind or she would not stay back without helping that person. Within 12 months, Santosh found herself a member of an Indo Nepalese women's expedition that invited her to join them. She then scaled the Everest a second time, thus setting a record as the only woman to have scaled the Everest twice and securing for herself and India a unique place in the annals of mountaineering. In recognition of her achievement, the Indian government bestowed upon her one of the nation's topmost awards, the Padma Shri. Remember, the Padma Shri is one of the highest awards given in the country for a person who has achieved great honor for the country. Describing her feelings when she was literally on the top of the world, Santosh has said it took some time for the enormity of the moment to sink in. The enormity of the moment means a very great moment in her life. It took some time for her to understand what had exactly happened. She says, then I unfurled the Indian tricolour and held it aloft. Held it aloft means she held it high. On the roof of the world, the feeling is indescribable. The Indian flag was flying on top of the world. It was truly a spiritual moment. I felt proud as an Indian. Also, a fervent environmentalist, Santosh collected and brought down 500 kilograms of garbage from the Himalayas. This tells us that Santosh was not just a mountain climber, but she also cared for the environment. As she was coming down Everest, she brought along with her all the garbage that was lying on the mountains. Thank you, dear students, for listening.